introduce. What's going to happen is that there are 4 presentations. They're all video presentations which have been pre-recorded, and we will do them in order, one by one. They're all short. They normally less than about 10 minutes each, and we'll have time for some questions. So you're welcome to type your questions in the chat. They'll get preference, but you can also, while we've got the speakers available, you can also raise your hand and we will recognize you and you can then pose a question. So we'll be doing each section or each one of the presentations, and then we'll do a short question and answer session for those particular ones. And then also just to mention, although these are obviously all being done by honors level students, we're hoping that their research will stimulate some ideas for the learners on the group to want to do an Expo project. I'll type our Expo website address in on the chat as well, and if anyone doesn't know about us, you obviously we would love you to go to the website and you can also register there. If any of the students would like to assist us, either as mentors or possibly as judges once it comes to our regional science fairs, we would also welcome you with open arms, and you're welcome to register on our website. There's a button there to just say get involved and you can register there. Okay, so before we start with the first presentation, I'm just going to hand over to Dr. Khan and ask her to say a few words.
Good afternoon, all, and welcome to the session for the Expo for Young Scientists. So we from the University of KwaZulu-Natal in the School of Laboratory Medicine and Medical Sciences, and our honors students, they go through different modules, and one of the modules is called research methodology that teaches them how to do research, so the ins and outs of preparing for research, and that's basically they will start to apply when they actually run their research project later in the year. So part of this research methods module has asked them to do a community engagement video that elaborates a bit on the STEM fields, that elaborates a little bit about what type of science research they are doing. And the hope was that it would stimulate young scientists to go into the STEM fields. And so yesterday we were privileged to hear about anatomy and anatomy as being part of the STEM field and what type of research honors students would be doing in anatomy. Today we will be hearing from medical biochemistry students, and we hope that that what they present would stimulate discussion, and that it would also, you know, get you guys interested in maybe pursuing a career in the STEM fields and possibly with KwaZulu-Natal University as well. So welcome, and I'm looking forward to listening to the talks today. I'm very, very grateful to the Eskom Expo for Young Scientists extending this initiative to us as well. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khan. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'll just once again just ask Mr. Swats to just confirm for me once we start that everything is visible and audible. Some of these recordings are quite soft, so I just urge you to turn up the volume on your side, on your speakers or your computer or laptop, please, if you can't hear. I have optimized it, and I will be obviously sharing the sound as best I can from my side. For some reason it's now paused. And
Greetings to all. Today, myself and my colleagues are going to be presenting on the antioxidant effects of traditional African
confirm you can see and yeah?
hemp
Yes, I can.
No, it's very soft.
medical biochemistry. Medical biochemistry focuses on studying the chemical composition and processes in the human body. Understanding biochemical processes that take place within the human body is important for solving day-to-day problems in the medical field. Medical biochemistry includes pharmaceutical manufacturing, clinical laboratory, molecular biology, and forensic investigations.
There are three main reasons why medical biochemistry is deemed to be significant. Medical biochemistry is significant because it gives a better understanding of the biochemical changes and any related physiological alterations that can occur in the body. Secondly, biochemical changes assist in studying the pathology of any disease of interest. Finally, those biochemical changes enlighten the physician by providing information on the associated disorder based on the symptoms given by the patient. According to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second leading cause of death worldwide, with approximately 10 million deaths that were recorded in the year 2020. About 30% of cancer cases in developing countries are caused by cancer-causing infections like human papillomavirus, which is also abbreviated as HPV, and hepatitis. This slide also depicts the statistics that show the number of deaths that have been induced by each known cancer. The pie chart shows that other unspecified cancer are leading and contribute 46% to the mortality rate. It can also be concluded that cancer is one of the main causes of deaths throughout the world at large.
Cancer is a disease whereby abnormal cells grow in an uncontrolled manner as a result of failure in the programmed cell death. The resulting tumors spread to other parts of the body, disrupting the body's normal function. The most common cancers include lung cancer, colorectal cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, brain cancer, and breast cancer. Our main focus will be liver cancer. There are several factors that increase the risk of liver cancer. The most notable include chronic infection with hepatitis B virus, cirrhosis, and excessive alcohol consumption. Some other carcinogens include UV light and radiation, asbestos, components of tobacco smoke, aflatoxin, arsenic, and infectious agents like viruses, bacteria, and parasites. Cancer can be prevented by avoiding exposure to the mentioned carcinogens. Liver cancer treatment varies, but may also include chemotherapy, transplant, and in some cases, radiation.
Cancer research is very important for improving available treatments and also to develop new effective ways to treat and cure cancer. Our main focus is on the antioxidant effects of a traditional African concoction, which shows the antioxidant effects on HepG2 cells for liver cancer. The HepG2 cells are human hepatoma that is most used in drug metabolism and hepatotoxicity studies. HepG2 cells are non-tumorigenic cells with high proliferative rate and epithelial-like morphology that performs many differentiated hepatic functions. Firstly, the available treatments for cancer are very expensive and they also require expensive equipment too. However, scientists like us are investigating complementary alternative medicine that utilizes medicinal plants. Some may ask, what are medicinal plants? A medicinal plant is any plant that contains substances that can be used for therapeutic purposes, which can also be precursors for the synthesis of useful drugs, e.g., like your green tea, Monsonia pequeña, and etc. These studies have shown that medicinal plants have a positive impact on many diseases, such as degenerative diseases, diabetes, and many cancers.
In conclusion, health research is very important in medical society. It can provide important information about disease, trends, risk factors, outcomes of treatments, or public health interventions, functions, treatment regimens, healthcare costs, and uses. Conducting the research helps find new innovative ways to fight the spread of disease or the illness. I hope many students are now very interested in studying medical science, as you guys can see, the benefits of health research, because if it wasn't for a medical health researcher or scientist, there wouldn't be interventions of medications, of medications for these diseases specified like cancer and all that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for that interesting presentation. We do have two of the group members with us today. Well, they might probably all here, but who have agreed to answer any questions. Nonjabulo, could you please just unmute yourself? I'm not sure if the message that's in the chat from Tabasili Langa, can I please talk about aquagenic urticaria, has anything to do with this particular presentation, or if it's something broader? While we're waiting for that, can I just ask, has anybody got any questions? You're welcome to raise your hand and we'll recognize you. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions that have been posed by anyone at this stage. Okay, I think what we'll do then is we'll go on to the next presentation. And if we've got time left over at the end, if anybody would like to come back to any of the presentations for questions, and we can accommodate those as well. So let me just get the next one started, and then I will share my screen again. Just give me a second. I'm sharing now.
Audible and visible.
Thank you.
Good morning to everyone listening to our presentation today. We all belong to the School of Laboratory Medicine, Medical Biochemistry Department at UKZN, pursuing our honors degree. Our names are Alia, Nikisha, Sashendran, and Verona. We all will be representing to you today more information about our department, what we do, and briefly discuss a research project one of our fellow colleagues is pursuing this year.
Our honors program is a subdivision of laboratory medicine and medical science. We focus on the study of biological molecules to understand their structures and functions. The knowledge gained regarding such molecular mechanisms is used in biomedical research in treating diseases. For example, understanding the molecular mechanisms of cell division is helpful in cancer research. So what exactly do medical scientists do? Our medical biochemistry program is very hands-on allowing us to gain a lot of practical laboratory experience. This experience can be used in various clinical and laboratory settings, including but not limited to research. Our program is a great option if you're interested in both medicine and biology. Every medical biochemistry student is assigned a research project to work on for the year. One of the topics for this year is cancer, which is one of the most common causes of death worldwide, making it an attractive area for biomedical research.
Some of you may understand what cancer is, whilst others may not. We will be explaining it anyhow, so whoever does not know will have a basic understanding of what cancer is after this. Cancer is uncontrolled cell growth in one area of your body that could spread throughout. In normal cell division, cells divide to form numerous other cells. When cells become old or damaged, new cells take its place. When the cells that are damaged or abnormal don't break down and multiply, they form tumors, which can be cancerous or benign. Cancerous tumors can metastasize, which means they can spread to surrounding tissue and even enter the bloodstream to invade other parts of the body. So why is cancer important to study? So, according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer, in 2040, the number of new cancer cases per year is expected to rise to 29.5 million and the number of cancer-related deaths to 16.4 million. It is therefore important to discover new therapeutic strategies to help reduce this number, decrease mortality, and help cure diagnosed patients with this disease without harmful side effects of our current treatment program, which either includes radiation, chemotherapy, or surgery.
Our project specifically deals with colorectal cancer, which occurs when cells in the colon and rectum begin to grow uncontrollably. It is the third most frequent cancer in the world and affects more males than females. Risk factors include high tobacco or alcohol use, a diet low in fruits and vegetables or heavy in processed meats, a lack of physical exercise.
Hi, Chris, what happened there? Chris?
Did we lose Chris?
He seems to be here, but not responding.
Okay, sorry, I am. Yeah, I didn't realize there was a problem. I know my laptop disconnected for a second. Sorry, is it not sharing?
No, it's not sharing.
Sorry, I'll go back a bit. Sorry, I did drop for a minute, or not a minute, a few seconds. I'm not sure how long. I'll just share again. Sorry about that.
Just while you're setting up, Chris.
The number of cancer.
Yeah.
Participants must please remain muted at all times. I've had to kick off a few people because they were being disruptive.
Okay, thank you for that, Nico. Just confirm again that you can see
related deaths to 16.4 million.
Yes, thank you.
It is therefore important to discover new therapeutic strategies to help reduce this number, decrease mortality, and help cure diagnosed patients with this disease without the harmful side effects of our current treatment program, which either includes radiation, chemotherapy, or surgery.
Our project specifically deals with colorectal cancer, which occurs when cells in the colon and rectum begin to grow uncontrollably. It is the third most frequent cancer in the world and affects more males than females. Risk factors include high tobacco or alcohol use, a diet low in fruits and vegetables or heavy in processed meats, a lack of physical exercise, and a high body mass index. Hallmarks of colorectal cancer are changes in bowel habits, rectal bleeding, stomach discomfort, and weight loss without attempting.
Existing treatment options can be expensive or inaccessible to most of the population. In our project, we'll be testing the effects of a traditional African concoction on colorectal cancer cells. The concoction contains medicinal plants with certain chemicals that may be capable of killing these cancer cells. Our project investigates this hypothesis. The reason why a medicinal concoction may be favorable in treating cancer cells as medicinal plants have anti-cancer qualities that act against a wide range of cancers by obliterating cancer-stimulating enzymes, producing antioxidant effects, and mending DNA damage and improving overall body immunity. We are also investigating the mechanism by which the concoction can kill the cancer cells. Apoptosis is a programmed form of cell death, and we will determine if and how the concoction causes apoptosis of cancer cells. How do we go about testing if this concoction works on cancer cells? In the lab, we'll culture specific cancer cells, such as CACO2 cells, treat them with the concoction containing the anti-cancer chemicals, and perform various subsequent assays to determine if and how the cancer cells die after exposure to the concoction.
Based on our research project, we hope you understand the importance of biomedical research and its implications in healthcare. Cancer is just one of the research. Other projects deal with diseases like tuberculosis and HIV, to name a few. Our research could potentially provide a foundation for the development of new treatments of these diseases, which makes medical biochemistry such an important field of study. Thank you for listening to our presentation today. We hope that we have piqued your interest in the field of medical sciences.
Another very interesting presentation. Thank you very much for that. I did see that Dr. Khan had posed a question. I think it might have actually been from the last group, but I know this group had also referred and are looking at concoctions, including medicinal plants. So I don't know if either of the groups would be prepared to answer the question that Dr. Khan has posed. If the medicinal plants are used already, why do you need to test them? Could either Nanjabulo or Sashendran answer that for us?
Hi there, good day. I'm Sashendran.
Hi. So did you see the question
yes, yes, my answer to the question is
please.
Most medicinal plants in South Africa contain a wide and diverse variety of phytochemicals present. But however, in previous studies, they have not explored the full capability of all these medicinal plants. Therefore, our research can better provide beneficial information around more cellular effects surrounding these phytochemicals.
Right, thanks very much. Dr. Khan, would you like to add anything to the question or respond?
So Sashendran, the medicinal plants that you're going to be using is one that was obtained from a traditional healer that has not been previously tested. So our traditional healers will dispense certain mixtures that they claim will be able to cure COVID, cure HIV, cure cancer, or whatever the case may be, but it has not been scientifically validated. And nor do we know what the components are. So the projects, yes, Sashendran is correct, is twofold. In that we don't know what the phytochemicals are and what it is that they can do. And in medicine, it's important to know how a compound does something. So it's not just important to say, I can use this medicine to cure cancer. We want to know how will it cure cancer. So is it going to decrease cell proliferation? Is it going to minimize oxidative stress? Those kind of things. And that's what the research is about, is to determine. So yes, we have these claims. Let's validate these claims.
Thank you for that. Any other questions from anyone?
Hi, Chris. I have a question, please.
Please, Dr. Mohammed. Thanks for joining.
Okay, so I've got one for this group and then one for the group that presented earlier, if that's okay. So for this group, I want to find out, you mentioned, and we've got, we've got learners here. So explain to the learner, when you say treat the cancer cell with this concoction. Now in the lab setting, what exactly are you doing when you're saying treat the cell with the concoction?
As my supervisor, Dr. Khan has implicated, so as we would receive this concoction from a medicinal healer, so in the lab, basically, the different types of cells in our body, such as colorectal cells, liver cells, lung cells, we would basically be culturing them in the lab. And afterwards, we'd be using specific treatments from these medicinal concoctions to treat these cells. And afterwards, we'll basically conduct different types of biomedical techniques to find out the cellular effects that has occurred. Thank you.
Dr. Mohammed, are you happy with the answer? Or would you like to extend it?
No, I think that's fine. And then to the first group, I just wanted to find out. So if you find that this concoction now has some positive effects, and Dr. Khan has said that we don't know what's in this concoction, what would be the next step? Assuming you now continuing your research or continuing your career in this field, what would be the next step for you if you do find some positive effects of this of a concoction?
Good day. My name is Tabu Pingo. I'll be answering for the first group.
That's fine. Please carry on.
Okay. Once you have found positive results with regards to the research, within this industry, you can further do other research with regards to what you were researching, and you can develop more different treatments for this cancer. So once you have found positive feedback with regards to the research of your cancer cells, you can do more further research and you can get more information on how you can treat different types of cancer cells. Thank you.
Any follow-ups, Dr. Mohammed?
No, that's fine. Thanks.
Okay, anyone else who've got a question for either of these two groups? Okay, the first three presentations are all along similar topics. So if we do have any other questions, we can certainly take them. But I see, I think Dorothy is just congratulating the presenters. Okay, so we're going to go on to the third presentation for today. So just give me a second to share it again.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, please, Dorothy, can you keep yourself muted during the presentations? Thank you. And then also just to remind the learners, and if you don't mind, any teachers who might have joined us as well, if you wouldn't mind just putting in for the learners your grade and school that you attend, and for the teachers also just type in which school you attend, please. It just helps us to see the audience. Okay, I'm about to share again.
In medical science. What is
fine.
medical science?
Thank you.
Medical science is a science dealing with the maintenance of health, prevention of diseases, as well as treatments. Medical science provides scientific knowledge which gives basic information or foundation about how human body functions, which is a fundamental requirement for continued studies in the medical profession. Medical science has many disciplines, which explains how the human body functions. Starting with basic biology, it is divided into areas of specialization such as anatomy, physiology, pathology, with biochemistry, microbiology, cellular biology, and molecular biology.
The importance of medical sciences. Medical sciences is important because it has a great impact on our lives. It can be said that on a daily basis of utility, medical sciences is one of the most important sciences right now. To diagnose a disease, a practitioner needs to first understand how it fits in healthy body functions. It is very difficult to truly
Sorry, Chris,
evaluate
we
and
only seeing
diagnose
your
a
Explorer at the
disease without
moment.
the
Sorry.
knowledge of the effects of the disease.
Let me just go back
and
a
how
little bit.
It can be said that on a daily basis
Can you
of
see it now?
utility, medical sciences is one of the
Yes,
most
thank you.
important sciences right now. To diagnose a disease, a practitioner needs to first understand how it fits in healthy body functions. It is very difficult to truly evaluate and diagnose a disease without the knowledge of the effects of the disease and how the normal function of the body can be restored, as well as giving you a good working knowledge of the human body. Medical sciences gives you an understanding of the terminology used by a medical profession, allowing you to refer and communicate effectively with the doctors. Medical laboratory is where medical sciences executes tests on clinical specimens to get information about the health of a patient pertaining to the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of disease. Medical laboratories are the main parts of the medical field, as they are the backbone of medicine, since medical doctors depend on the reports issued by medical scientists. A small fault can lead to a huge disaster that can be caused by misdiagnosis in the medical laboratory.
Now you should be asking yourself, why do we need medical sciences in our everyday lives? Well, it helps in the identification, isolation, diagnosis, and treatment of pathogenic microorganisms. And also it produces beneficial yeast and some antibiotics. So, for instance, in our daily lives, we have children at home, our younger sisters and brothers who play outside. They come into contact with several types of pathogens such as bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which may later cause infection so that they become sick. So now, going to the medical setting, the microbiologist will then analyze their specimen to find the bacteria or any pathogen that is affecting them, that is causing an infection to them, and so that an appropriate antibiotic may be provided. That's where medical microbiology comes in. Say now you were playing and you have an injury in your bones or anywhere in your body. You go to the doctor and the doctor suggests that you perform daily exercises for you to recover. That's where physiology comes in. It helps patients understand why they are doctors. It answers the why part for the doctors to recommend that they work out, they minimize salt intake, as well as taking a certain medicine. So it helps you understand how the body works in health and how it responds and adapts to the challenges of daily life. Okay, now we need to analyze your blood vessels, your organs, your skeletons, as well as the nerves, so that we may know what's bothering you in your body. Say you are in hospital, you don't know what's bothering you, you're only feeling pain outside of your body. So we need to analyze what's happening in your body. That's where anatomy comes in. It teaches the functionalities of the human body practically, so that one should know their body movements. It gives information about the blood vessels, organs, skeleton, and the nerves. So for our health, we need quality food. So In the quality and quantity of food production, we need biochemistry. So we achieve that through improved agrochemicals, as well as in the development of crops with enhanced resistance to pests and diseases. In the preparation of foods that improve general human health, such as probiotics and antioxidants. But mainly, we use medical biochemistry in the development of new medicine and drugs.
Application of medical sciences. As mentioned above, medical science is the foundation of medicine. Medical science improves the quality of healthcare system through the studies of disease research, then determines the cause and preventive measures. For instance, one of our current study aims to determine the apoptotic effect of traditional African concoctions in HEC293 cells, the kidney cancer cell. Briefly, this means we are tasked to investigate the effectiveness of medical plants against cancer. These plants may be plants that we use on a daily basis, such as turmeric, curcumins, or those offered by traditional healers. Although there are available therapies, however, many have deleterious effects, which attribute to other diseases such as kidney dysfunction, for example, acute kidney failure and chronic kidney failure. Hence, it is imperative to find new therapies with less or no adverse effect to organs. This study reveals the importance of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, collectively called STEM, which enhances the critical thinking and improves the quality of education by playing a crucial role in development of 21st century skills such as adaptability, communication, social skills, problem solving, creativity, self-control, and scientific thinking. Also, STEM aims to accomplish the integration of learning by establishing a relationship between all disciplines rather than being separate from each other.
A medical science degree enables you to work in a variety of scientific careers and opens up many opportunities for further study. Graduates may enter a diverse range of roles, including postgraduate study, the biotechnology industry, pharmaceutical industry, consultancy roles, or education, which makes use of the broad range of transferable skills gained through the degree. You could work as a lab technician, a researcher, or a medical representative. The list is endless. Employment of medical scientists is projected to grow 6% from 2020 to 2029, faster than the average for all occupations. A larger and aging population, increased rates of several chronic conditions, and a growing reliance on pharmaceuticals are all factors that are expected to increase demand for medical scientists. They will be needed for research related to diseases such as COVID-19, AIDS, Alzheimer's, and cancer. We hope you guys found medical science interesting enough to consider a career path in it. We, however, do encourage everyone to do so, as you will be contributing to the betterment of the world.
Great, thank you for that presentation. I think it was a very nice overview of the medical sciences, and it certainly helps the learners who are on the group to also be aware of what different career paths are available in the various medical sciences. So thank you very much for that. Okay, we've got two of the group, Nosipo and Asisipo, with us to answer any questions that anyone may have. I don't see anything in the chat yet, but if anybody's got any questions, you're welcome to raise your hand and ask. I'll recognize you. No one. Okay. Oh, sorry. Dorothy Umlambu's got a question. You can please unmute yourself, Dorothy, and then just ask your question.
Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I'd like to ask a question about what should you put in the medicine that you're gonna make to cure cancer?
Okay, Dorothy, I think that's a very, very broad sort of question, because obviously there's different things that they're testing, but maybe one of the first two groups would like to voice an opinion or try and answer your question for you. Sashendran or Nanjabulo or Tabu?
Hi there. Well, with the research that we are currently doing as honors students in biochem, we are trying to elucidate mostly the phytochemicals. So you could say that the phytochemicals are kind of like the medicine, kind of like the components that we are gonna basically put into the medication to try and find a possible cure for cancer. Yeah, thanks.
Sashendra, maybe just explain what phytochemicals are.
So phytochemicals are basically chemical compounds found within medicinal plants. They have a wide range of functions, such as helping to basically obliterate cancer-stimulating enzymes, can induce antioxidant effects, help to basically mend DNA damage and improve your overall body immunity.
Thank you for that. Thanks for your question, Dorothy. Anybody else got any questions?
Hi, Chris. I got a question for the group that just presented, please.
Please, carry on.
Okay. So your topic was on the apoptotic effect of something. Can you explain to the learners what that is? We didn't really hear a lot about your project. So do you want to tell us in a sentence or two that's understandable to grade 6 and 7 learners what your project's about and what is apoptosis? Thanks.
I'm not sure if Nasipo or Asisipo are going to answer, but either of you?
Hello everyone, I am Nosipa Notolopagati. I hope you guys can all hear me. Apoptosis is the programmed cell death. As I said, it's a programmed cell death. So we're trying here to find plants that are actually able to induce apoptosis. As we know that cancer is actually unregulated growth of cells. So we're trying to find ways by using plants to regulate the growth of cells. So apoptosis might be the other way that we can use that we can implement in fighting against cancer. So we can find apoptosis or apoptotic effects from plants.
Thanks very much. Dr. Mohammed, any follow-up?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, last chance, anyone for questions? We're just perfectly on time at the moment. So let's look at the last presentation, which is on recent trends in TB. So I'll start that one. Just give me a second again.
Good day, everyone. Today, our topic is an insight into the current trends in TB research. My name is Caitlin Meganathan.
My name is Avishka Chupasad.
My name is Kwenzogusha Tumisa.
My name is Zainab Nur Mohammed.
So what is TB? TB is a disease that is caused by a bacteria called Bacillus mycobacterium tuberculosis. It usually affects the lungs and other body organs such as brain and kidney. TB can be latent, which means that one can be infected but not get sick or spread the disease. TB is airborne, spreading from one person to another through droplets in the air when we cough. Therefore, it is important that we cover our mouths when we cough. The symptoms of TB include persistent coughing, chest pain, weakness, fatigue, fever, weight loss, and sweating at night. Of course, showing these symptoms does not necessarily mean you are infected. TB causes devastation across the world, both financially and emotionally. It is estimated that over over 9.9 million people contracted TB in 2020, and over 1.5 million died from TB worldwide. In South Africa, it is estimated that over 328,000 people were infected with TB in 2020, and more than 61,000 died from the disease. Indeed, we all feel the consequences of TB, whether directly or indirectly. For this reason, it is important that research is conducted on TB. In medical science, particularly in medical biochemistry, we study the mechanism of disease and how they affect the body. Our aim is to understand the biological processes and chemical pathways associated with this disease. This way, we can find treatment and strategies to eradicate this disease, such as TB.
Research on tuberculosis and the bacteria that causes the disease are crucial for the development of TB treatments. I am one of the honors students focusing on TB research at UKZN. Today, I'm going to briefly explain my research and how it relates to potential future TB treatment. As you know, the number of TB cases are on the rise, both in our country and globally. Some patients develop drug-resistant tuberculosis, which means that the medication they are taking does not work. This is a major problem. If the medication administered for TB is not effective, then patients will continue to get sick and could lose their lives to TB. To combat this problem, part of my research has been to study the structure of the TB bacteria. Just like how our bodies need proteins to function normally and to be healthy, so does M. tuberculosis. In my research, I have identified one such protein called PKS13 that is important for maintaining the cell wall of M. tuberculosis. Without the cell wall, the TB bacteria will not be able to survive. I have been researching many different compounds that can be used to target the protein and stop it from functioning. If a suitable compound is found that can target the protein and successfully stop the growth of M. tuberculosis, then the compound can be studied further and be used to create new medication to treat TB. Like my research, there are many other proteins that can be targeted in M. tuberculosis. It is important research ultimately aimed at ending the TB pandemic.
Medical biochemistry is a rapidly growing field of research. It combines the concepts of biology and chemistry with medicine to develop new scientific approaches. All diseases have a molecular premise, and by studying the reactions that occur in these chemical pathways, medical biochemists can develop treatments that target certain disease pathways directly. Medical biochemistry is the foundation of all biological processes, making it very flexible as it can be applied to many fields. Without knowledge in biochemistry principles, scientists would not be able to create effective drugs. Since it's a constantly evolving field, there are always newer therapeutic interventions that need to be tested against the current treatments, all with the central purpose of disease. South Africa has the highest incidence rate when it comes to TB, particularly affecting those of the working class population. Since South Africa is a third world country, not all patients can afford the most effective and superior treatment due to financial constraints. Medical research aims to find the most affordable treatments with maximum success rates that can benefit the entire population regardless of their economics. Medical biochemistry encompasses research in many fields like TB and diabetes, to name a few. Medical biochemistry is fundamental to any advances in diagnosis and treatment of disease.
STEM, TB research, and why research is important. STEM not only teaches you critical thinking skills, but also assists in problem solving of a variety of tasks and disciplines. We belong to a changing world, and science, and in particular research in science, empowers us with knowledge in this changing world. Science contributes greatly to the research of TB. Medical biochemistry is part of this contribution as it continuously researches TB and its related factors. Studies vary from investigating different plants as treatment measures to the use of computational methods to examine quantum and molecular mechanics of the disease. We also have KRIT, which is the KwaZulu-Natal Research Institute for TB and HIV, a research institute that is dedicated to developing new tools to control diseases. The World Health Assembly has adopted the End TB strategy that aims to end the TB epidemic by the year 2035. And so TB research and research to alleviate its associated factors is ongoing. You might be thinking, if there's already so many research and scientists, will your research actually make a difference? Yes. Even if your research doesn't produce your intended outcomes, it will provide valuable information for future studies, and you might even stumble upon new discoveries. Undoubtedly, research is a long process that does require lots of patience, but is also rewarding. A career in research is valued, and being part of a network of people working towards better understanding and enhancing people's lives is something to be proud of. Remember, science is not only progress through major breakthroughs, but also through the sum of many minor breakthroughs. As Benjamin Franklin once stated, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Thank you.
Right, so that was the last of the presentations for this afternoon. I've got a few comments I'd like to make, but before that, I'd just like to once again ask if anyone's got any questions that they'd like to ask this last group specifically.
Hi, Chris. I'll ask a question. So thanks for that informative overview of the burden of TB and current what's happening in terms of research. Can you please tell us quickly, based on what is known about all the research, then what it is that you plan on doing in language that will be understandable to the learners, please?
Hi, Dr. Mohammed. So currently, the drugs that are used to treat TB are taken in combination. That means that there are 4 different types of medication that is being taken. So, and this is because that there is tuberculosis that become drug resistant. So that becomes a problem because it makes treating TB very difficult if it's drug resistant, if it's just resistant to the medication. So that is why there is an urgent need for coming up with new strategies to make new medication that can work, especially because the World Health Organization has a goal to end TB by the year 2030. And the COVID-19 pandemic has made it a bit more difficult. So we can't forget that TB is still a major global health threat, and it still needs the focus, the research to find a way to end that epidemic as well.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Mohammed. Happy?
Yep, that's fine. Thanks. Chris, someone has a hand up.
Yes, I see Victor's raised his hand. Victor, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello. I would like to ask if there is any support that is given to the learners, since you know schools do not have laboratories, but learners may actually come up with some research. Is there any support given to them to be able to do, to test their research further?
Thanks for that question. I'll answer that. You know, we, as Expo for Young Scientists, we try and encourage as many learners and schools to get involved with doing research projects as possible. And we work across schools from quintile 1s all the way to quintile 5. And we appreciate that many schools and learners don't have adequate resources. What I'm going to recommend is go onto the website and then just identify who your provincial coordinator is, but you can maybe I can tell you right now. Victor, where is your school situated, in which province?
KwaZulu-Natal in Mhlabya Sodwana Bay Primary School.
Okay. Ms. Nalini Duki, who's on the group here with us, I'm sure she can contact you directly. Maybe just jot down your email address in the chat so that she has it. and she can contact you directly to see if there's any way they can assist you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're nearly up with time, but we've still got enough time for any other questions that anyone may have. Quick one. I don't see any other hands raised. Okay, so we'll take it that everybody's happy. I just, from my side, want to also just make a comment that it's very useful, particularly the last group's presentation, where they look not only at the importance of STEM, but also the, if you like, the scientific method that is sort of followed. That's something we stress a lot with our learners, and it could even be useful for the students. We've produced a couple of research guides, which are obviously aimed more at school level, but they could certainly also provide some guidance if you like. So go onto the website and have a look under resources, and you'll see there's a simple guide to a successful research project. It would be nice just to also hear your feedback, any of the students who want to make use of a resource like that. And then, realizing that there's many of the students that presented now who are doing specific research project topics. I think once you've wrapped up your research towards the end of the year, it would be nice to have you back to present the results of some of your research, but we'll continue to collaborate or be in touch with Dr. Mohammed. I see Mrs. Duki's got her hand raised. Nalini, please.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks to all the presenters for their very interesting presentations. So I just want to check with the students, how do they actually choose their area of study? Is it something that the university is giving to you, or do you choose your own field of study for in the projects that you've been, the research that you discussed?
I don't know if anyone in particular wants to just answer. You're welcome to unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll ask either Dr. Mohammed or Dr. Khan to answer your question for you. But I think let's give the students an opportunity. Caitlin, seeing as your group didn't receive any other questions other than from Dr. Mohammed, maybe you'd like to answer that for us.
Hi.
Yeah.
So basically, we have a supervisor that will oversee our projects. And in my case, I've been assigned the TB project, which I find very interesting. And other groups, I've seen some cancer projects. I think in some cases that you do get the opportunity to choose a certain project that comes from your supervisor. But in my case, we were assigned based on the supervisor.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks very, very much. And just to remind you all that we will be continuing this series of workshops next Wednesday and Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock again. The Wednesday topics are all around medical microbiology, and Thursday's topics are around human physiology. So please make a point of joining us again, and please encourage your friends or colleagues to join us if they can as well. So from my side, that's it, but I'd just like to give Dr. Mohammed or Dr. Khan an opportunity if they want to say anything to wrap up.
Nothing from my side. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, thank you.
Just to say thank you to the Expo team and to the students for presenting. Thank you to all of the learners and teachers who attended as well, and I hope that it was an informative session for you. Thanks so much. Take care.
Great, and thanks again to everyone for setting it up and for sharing your knowledge and experiences. Thanks. Hopefully we'll see you all again next week.